Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. It is time to do another top 10 list, and these are the top 10 rogue cards that I'm looking forward to in Theros. Again, this isn't based on power level, this is just based on anticipation and brewing. And again, these are the cards I'm excited about. Not cards that I think are going to warp the format, not cards that I think are overall the most powerful card. Of course, Thought Seasoning of Gods would be on this list, and they are not. These are just cards that I'm excited to brew with. So without further ado, let's start off with my number 10 card. Coming in at number 10 is Akron Crusader. I love this card. I'm a big fan of the heroic ability, and I just have two heroic cards that I'm going to put on this list. The first one being Akron Crusader, which is a 1/1 for 1, and its heroic ability is put a 1/1 hasty soldier token into play. So you've got cool cards like Martial Glory that you can get in for +3/+0, and if you got two Crusaders out, you can actually double target stuff with Martial's Glory. And there's a bunch of other spoiled cards out of the Theros that you can actually target more than one creature and get those heroic triggers. But I'm just thinking of all the scenarios you can first turn Crusader, like second turn Young Pyromancer, and third turn start going crazy with the instant spells that actually target heroes, getting double tokens, pumping up your creatures, swinging in for insane amounts of damage, like again Martial Glory, Dying to Charge, cards like that. It's going to go in a red weenie deck, I'm sure. The only problem is we have Ratchet Bomb in the format and now Anger of the Gods. So that's why I didn't make up higher on my top 10 list, as I'm thinking those two cards are really going to set these strategies back. Coming in at number 2 is another heroic card called Agent of the Fates, and this card I'm going to be brewing for my first brew deck. I'm going to be releasing that article for some good buddies of mine over at limitedmagic.com, so be sure to go check that out. I'll definitely have it in the description when that is released. And this card is a Death Touch, 3/2 for 3 mana. That's not too bad. That's some pretty good stats right there. And then its heroic abilities, whenever you target with a spell, it then makes your opponent sacrifice a creature. So again, I'm thinking Hidden Strings is the perfect buddy for Mr. Agent of Fates, as you can make your opponent sacrifice up to 2 creatures per turn. And then there's plenty of other cards like Mizium Skin that can protect your Agent of Fates, and you can even use cards like Disperse to bounce it back to your hand, and it will still get that trigger to make your opponent sacrifice. So what you do is you protect your creature, make your opponent sack a creature, and next turn you can cast it again. And that'll be probably the strategy, just be a beatdown deck with Agent of Fates. Another thing about Agent of Fates is the double black helps your devotion count a lot. And if you are, I'm thinking about going a devotion route, and I'm also thinking about putting in this card into decks like maybe a black-white shell or a blue, of course the blue-black shell that I'm talking about, and then you can have other finishers like Nightveil Spectre to help you get card advantage. So I'm really looking forward to this Agent of Fates. I think I have a pretty good brew already, and again, you'll be able to see that pretty soon. I don't know a time frame of when I'll have that done. I'm extremely busy at the moment. I'm also trying to start a Magic kind of team or club or even a store here in my hometown, so I'm going to be very, very, very busy with a lot of the projects I'm doing. But be looking forward to that article. It's going to be sweet. I'll be writing for them probably weekly or bi-monthly, so definitely go check them out, limitedmagic.com, and give them a sub. All right, let's go on to my third card that I'm excited about, and this is Curse of the Swine. Hey, look, I picked a blue card. Curse of the Swine is awesome. You exile, not destroy, exile X creatures, just 2 blue and X, and the opponent gets to put into play, for each exiled creature, they get to put into play a 2/2 Swine token. Well, we have a great card in the format called Ratchet Bomb that was going to pair greatly with this Curse of the Swine, and so you'll be able to exile a ton of problematic creatures, and then you can easily Ratchet Bomb away the 2/2 Swine tokens, or you're in blue, and probably you're going to be in black. The black needs a sweeper, and I think Curse of the Swine is a perfect sweeper to put in a black-blue control deck. So there you have it. I picked a control card and a blue card. Surprise, surprise. Look at that. All my hate from the black-blue control players. Can you give me a little bit of forgiveness here? See, I'm not anti-control. I'm anti-extremely boring decks, and that's what I found that a Valley Drownyard UB control deck was extremely boring, and that was my hate against it. It wasn't necessarily the control. All right, so let's go on to Fanatic of Mogis. Is that how you say that card? Yeah, I think so. I love this card. It's another devotion card. I wish it was double red to help its devotion. But, I mean, this will make it more splashable, but I don't think you really want it to be splashable. It's a 4/2 for 4 mana. That's not horrible in a color that you want to be getting rid of your opponent's blockers. And then its devotion is, when it comes into play, it deals damage equal to your devotion count to target player. So that's pretty sweet. It's going to do 1 damage automatically when it comes into play. And if you have something else out, say you have like a Boros Reckoner out, which is probably what you're going to be playing in it. It's a Minotaur too, which is really cool with Boros Reckoner. So Boros Reckoner 3rd turn into Fanatic of Mogis on 4th turn. That's 4 damage. That's a Flame Tongue Kavu coming out. That's awesome. So I think this card's very underrated. It is just an uncommon. I think it will see some play. And the Minotaur is going to be relevant. We've already seen some cool Minotaur cards. So I'm going to be brewing that Minotaur Boros Reckoner deck. I don't know what you guys are going to be doing. So awesome card. Looking forward to it. The next card is Mistcutter Hydra. Back to control. You all know my hatred for. It's just I hate it when there's control decks you can't do anything and you don't have any cards in the entire format that really can. Like people hate Cavern of Souls. I love it because it gives me an option against the control decks. So I just love having that option to be like, haha, you can't counterspell at least one thing out of my deck, or I can get in there. And the great thing about Mistcutter Hydra has got haste too, so it's like the perfect card against blue control decks. You're going to be able to get in there for, say you spend 3 mana, that's a 3/3 that's going to get in there for 3 damage and can't be countered. The more mana you have, the later the game goes on. You have 8 mana, it's a 7/7 haste. And then can't be countered. So I just like having tools and options against control. And this is a tool and option. It's not the most powerful card ever. It's very well balanced. The can't be countered and the haste and the +X. The 1/1 counters, of course, are very pertinent in the format. I'm still trying to brew a Bread for the Hunt type deck, and Mistcutter Hydra is perfect for that deck. So I'm loving this card. I think it's gonna give me a lot of options to brew around it. And yeah, so let's go on to another blue card. This doesn't feel like a blue card, but it is a blue card. It is Master of Waves. It is a Merfolk Wizard, protection from red. Protection from red is very pertinent in this format with a ton of red removal, especially Anger of Gods. But when it comes into play, it puts in a number of 1/0 elemental tokens, and all those elemental tokens get +1/+1. The cool thing is there's a lot of elemental tokens right now in the format. You have Molten Birth and you have Young Pyromancer, but neither of those help your devotion counter. But in a blue-red deck, I think just with the being a lord for the elementals, this might be a great card to pair with Young Pyromancer. And anyone that's a buddy with one of my favorite cards ever printed is a buddy with me. So Master of Waves and Young Pyromancer, I'm looking forward to a great relationship. Anyway, let's go on to Spear of Heliod. Of course, everyone knows my love for the Soul Sisters deck. And again, I've been having a bit of a problem with 3 mana anthems. A lot of times they're just too slow. But I'm starting to think that maybe, I mean, because Honor the Pure works so great in Soul Sisters because you go turn 2 Honor the Pure and a turn 3 Spectral Possession. But Spear of Heliod's okay as well. And the destroy a creature that is dealt damage to you is actually awesome with the spear. So it's going to give you that anthem for 3 mana. That's not bad. And then you have the ability to punish any of your opponent's creatures that actually do damage to you. So I'm looking forward to Spear of Heliod. I think it's a very powerful card. It's underrated at the moment. And I'm going to have a lot of fun brewing with it. Now, I've talked about Grey Merchant of Asphodel a ton. This is my number 3 pick. And you can just go see those videos. I've brewed each color except blue. So I've brewed a black-green, a black-white, a black-red version, all using Grey Merchant of Asphodel as kind of another way to stabilize. Again, it's kind of like the Fanatic Mogis. It's a 5 mana for a 2/4, so its stats aren't as good. But when it comes into play, your opponent loses life equal to your devotion to black, and it's automatically going to do 2. So that's not bad. 2 damage, 2 life. It's kind of like what was that called? A Blind Hunter back in the good old Dissension, or what was that out of Guild Pack? And kind of like, what was the other one that was out of M12 or M13? Is it M12 when it came into play? It deals 2 damage and you gain 2 life for 4 mana, 2/2 flyer. So it's kind of like that, and it's a common. This can be great and limited. But the coolest thing is it's like Nightveil Spectre. If you have one of those out before you cast a Grey Merchant, or like a Dark Prophecy, or even that Agent of Fates. you're going to be gaining at least 4, 5, 6 life. 6 life, 6 damage for 5 mana, plus a 2/4 body that stays around. That is not bad. I think this card is very underrated. I think it's going to see a ton of play when people actually realize the power level. All right, on to number 2. I've talked about this card a lot. This is Purphoros. We call him the Red God, God of the Forge. I can't find an English version yet. I looked everywhere on the internet. But what he does is when he comes into play, of course he's not a creature until his Devotion of Red is 5 or greater. He's a 6/5. He's got an ability of 2 and a red to give all your creatures +1/+0 in a turn. So a nice little anthem, a nice little creature pump on him. But the ability that really puts him over the top is whenever a creature comes into play, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. That is awesome. That's great. That's a late game reach right there. I don't know if it's quite as powerful as Hellrider, but it's a good replacement for Hellrider, and I'm happy to see it. Again, Young Pyromancer works great with this. Akron Crusader works great with this. Any sort of people are talking about Goblin Rally. 4th turn this into 5th turn Goblin Rally. That's 10 damage. Plus you get some tokens into play. Or wait, Goblin Rally is 4, so that's 8 damage. Do 4 tokens? Yeah, I think it does. Anyway, so any Molten Birth, any card like that where you're putting creatures into play is awesome. And even with this hammer, it's not bad, as the hammer will give your creatures haste, and you can just start sacking lands, and your lands will be 3/3s. They'll have haste, and they'll do 2 damage when that token comes into play. So definitely a lot of synergy with this card. I think it is the most powerful card out of Theros. Definitely the one I think is going to see the most play initially. I think red deck wins is going to be everywhere, as well as control decks. People have already talked about the synergy with this and cards like the new Elspeth, or the enchantment Assemble the Legion. So 4th turn this into 5th turn Assemble Legion. That's going to get out of control very, very quickly. So indestructibility, very hard to get rid of. It's definitely my favorite god out there, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. Last card on my list, my favorite card out of Theros, because I do like cards that just have a lot of flavor, is Whip of Erebos. People have already talked about the synergy between Obsidian Ghost Council, as the Obsidian Ghost Council will exile itself before Whip of Erebos exiles it. So you'll be able to get back the Obsidian Ghost Council, be able to recur it from your graveyard. It's going to be basically an Obsidian on a stick. Every time your Obsidian actually does die, if it does die, you'll be able to whip it back and whatnot. So I'm definitely going to be making a Junk Reanimator, or even just a white-blue or white-black Reanimator deck. I do like the green, splashing green, because you do have Commune with the Gods, which allows you to find it. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, enchantment or creature into your hand. You'll be able to find it and then throw the rest of the creatures into the graveyard and be able to reanimate them later. A little bit slow, but I mean, you automatically get the creatures. You can have lifelink to help you stabilize. And then it's 2 black again. Look at that with Grey Merchant of Asphodel. You can actually whip in Grey Merchant of Asphodel and do 4 damage, 4 life, and it gains haste. You'll do another 2 damage. Really, really good card. I'm loving this Whip of Erebos. And there you have it. There's my top 10. Again, I open this up to any of you YouTubers that have a channel. Make me a top 10, drop boxes to me, and I'll put it on my channel. Just like last time. I want to see your guys' top 10 list. If you don't have a YouTube channel, of course, put it in the comments below. And you can come into Facebook and post it there. Again, if you haven't joined our Facebook page, it's huge. We have about 550 people on Facebook. I give alerts. I give Rogue Market alerts. I link a lot of stuff there. That's usually like the real time. If you want any real-time updates or news with what's going on with Roguedeckbuilder.com, Facebook is the place to be. We're also, if you see our webpage, where I actually have some people working on it now, it's Team RDB. We're looking for more authors, more content creators. So if you do write articles or do make videos, we're always looking for people for the Roguedeckbuilder.com website. And also, it's going to look pretty sweet here. Like I said, I got some awesome people working on it. So look forward to that. If you haven't done a Rogue Market 25 ticket challenge, I highly, highly suggest you do so. The cool stuff is giving out 50 tickets or $50 store credit to the winners. So far we only have 6 entries. And if you can beat me, I might actually throw in a little bit of a prize. At least you'll have the bragging rights of saying you beat Roguedeckbuilder at its own game, the marketing game. Anyway, go check that out. I guess I'll be doing another channel here coming up shortly for more of a blogging. I'm going to actually, more of my personal life and whatnot. I don't want it to be on the Roguedeckbuilder channel. I'm going to try to keep my rambling to a minimum on the Rogue Deck channel. So I'm actually going to start another channel that's going to talk about other things I'm interested in besides just Magic the Gathering as well. So if you're interested in that, more of my personality and whatnot, I'll have links to go check that channel as well. Anyway, this has been fun. This is my favorite time of the Magic the Gathering experience, is rotation time and spoiler time. So lots of decks are going to be wide open. This is a Brewer's Paradise. I'm loving this set for Brewers. I'm giving this set a 6 out of 10, as there is a lot of clunk in this set. There's plenty of cards for me to work with, and right there is going to bump up. I don't know. For a rogue strategy, I give it at an 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. For an overall strategy, as far as how excited I am for the set, it's about a 6 out of 10. Limited's not looking that great so far, and neither is just the amount of cards that we get to standard. So who knows? Maybe next set it will add more Minotaur strategy, more elemental strategy, make these cards a lot more cooler, and we'll see. We'll see how it runs. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.